This is a poem that's called, They Call Him Cowboy. They call him Cowboy with an attitude, his lazy walk, the quiet talk, the blue-green eyes filled with his gratitude. When he drives into town in his blue Chevy truck, the girls all smile as they gather round. His friends call him Cowboy, and damn his luck. Ladies come from far and near. The competition is really rude for a kiss or to share a beer with this cowboy and his attitude. He stands really tall after a kiss on the cheek, but with his cowboy drawl, the girls all know his talk ain't weak. But when he saw the dark-haired girl with her karaoke smile, he really fell hard for her as she sang her love songs a while. Now this cowboy has a new attitude, and his heart is light. He's been moved to a new latitude because he knows he's found Miss Right. This is another poem that I wrote, and it's called Guard Your Heart, It's February. St. Valentine is responsible for all the cards and flowers. I don't think he understood that some of us are cowards. Should we dodge Cupid's arrows, hide our hearts from mortal man? 'Cause you might give your heart away and 2 weeks later get it slammed. Has it happened to you in the past when the love light was in your eyes? Then you tripped and fell over Cupid's arrows, which were filled with lots of lies? Oh well, let's get it on this year and hope we're being smart. Perhaps we won't even shed a tear. Just pretend and guard our hearts. This is written by Dex Savage, and it's called My English Teacher. It is an essay. I hear the high-pitched whine long before I see the car. A dark British green XKE Jaguar convertible is screaming down Highway 17 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The driver is in his mid-50s, wearing a gray tweed jacket and matching Scott's cap. His white scarf is flying in the wind like the Red Baron in a Snoopy cartoon. My favorite teacher is out to play. Dr. J.T.H. Mize is my English teacher and one of my most unforgettable characters. I had a lot of good teachers in high school in 1957, but Dr. Mize is head and shoulders above the rest. By today's hypocritical moral standards, he certainly would have been fired and maybe even put in jail. Dr. Mize would smoke out behind the gym with us. Smoking was a big no-no at school, even in the 50s. He would smoke around the corner where he couldn't see us, but we knew he was there. Sometimes after school, we would go to the local pool room to shoot some 8-ball and drink a couple of beers. We were only 16 and 17 years old then, but as long as we behaved ourselves, nobody seemed to care if we drank a beer. Quite often, Dr. Mize would stop in to shoot a game or two and have a beer. Occasionally, he would even buy us a beer. We all loved Dr. Mize. However, the governing body at school frowned on him, but because he was such a good teacher and had such a way with the kids, he was tolerated. I'm sure he was called on the carpet and reprimanded many times, but it didn't seem to change his demeanor any. Dr. Mize was my kind of guy. He was multi-talented, a gifted musician, piano, guitar, clarinet, and saxophone. He was a published author and a great public speaker. It was rumored he and Miss Darlene Wells, our bookkeeping teacher, had a little affair going on. I don't know, and I don't care. I liked Miss Wells, too. She was a free spirit of sorts. She had a beach house in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, and a great record collection. Many times she would have some of us come to her place and party, dance on the large porch facing the ocean. I liked her a lot. If Dr. Mize had an affair with her, I certainly couldn't blame him. She was in her early 40s and quite a looker. Sometimes Dr. Mize would come to the party and play his saxophone. I didn't spend much time at school my senior year. I only needed 1 credit to graduate, and that was Dr. Mize's English class. It was called Business English / Creative Writing, and it's where I learned to express myself on paper. For the most part, my friend Jack Thompson and I took pictures for the yearbook and whatever other excuses we could find not to attend school. There seemed to be three groups or levels of society in Myrtle Beach in the 50s. We had the country clubbers and golfers and people who owned the downtown stores and shops or dealerships, etc. The next level was the beach people. They owned the beach shops and restaurants, carnivals and theaters on or near the waterfront. They were mostly Greeks or Italians, a very close-knit society, maybe a little bit shady, almost like mafia connected. They did things other people couldn't get away with. Then we had the tourist crowd. I don't care what you were at home. When you came to the beach to vacation, you were in this third group. You represented our income, and we were ready to help you spend your money. Our little group, known locally as beach bums, were snugly tucked into the edge of group number 2. We could reach out and touch number 1 or number 3, whichever suited our particular fancy at the time. Kind of like having the best of both worlds. Liquor stores in South Carolina were controlled by the state. You could not legally buy a mixed drink across the bar. However, private clubs controlled by group number 2 were exempt from this law or somehow knew the right people or palms to grease, if you know what I mean. The local Elks Club was one of the aforementioned private clubs. It was somehow arranged that we have our senior prom there, a great band, open bar, and slot machines like a mini Las Vegas. Today, every living soul there would have gone to jail or worse. Dr. Mize drank scotch and water at my prom and had several of them. He played 2 clarinets at the same time and danced with every girl there. He and Miss Wells were our prom chaperones. Somebody pulled some big strings to make that happen. Probably never before or since. I'm glad I was there. I wore a white tux jacket, white lace shirt, and red cummerbund with a red carnation in my lapel, black Bermuda shorts, and barefooted. My prom date, B. Nash, wore a beautiful orchid evening gown with a low neckline, also barefooted. I remember it like it was only yesterday. Maybe it was only yesterday. I don't remember anyone having any problems related to that special prom. Most of us went on to become pretty much outstanding, loyal American citizens and fairly successful, I believe. In large part, we can thank Miss Wells and Dr. J.T.H. Mize. In my opinion, we need more teachers of their caliber in our education system today. What I learned from Dr. Mize is best expressed in a piece I wrote called Shades of Red, and here's Shades of Red. An artist uses color to create the picture he or she wants you to see. Colors are mixed to achieve a desired effect. Different shades to create shadows, or on the opposite side of the spectrum, a bright light. Many shades of red are used to bring you a beautiful sunset, yet the color is still red. A writer uses the written word to achieve the same effect. Words that can make you create your own personal picture in your mind. Descriptions that make you feel you are there, and maybe even a part of the story. As long as a story contains the basic element of truth and is not altered with malicious intent, it still remains the truth. An altered version, but still the truth, just a different shade of red. And Beck has a final piece that's a poem, and it's called Cupid in Camouflage. Did you wake him up this morning, well before the break of day, pack his lunch, give a goodbye kiss, and send him on his way? Did you hear him grunt, "I love you," as he gave a kiss goodbye? It was dark, you couldn't see the gleam there in his eye. Did you spend your day a-dreamin' about what the day might bring, of candlelight and roses, or maybe a little bling? It probably ain't gonna happen. It never has before. Then you hear a familiar sound. Somebody's knocking at the door. Battered hat, gray stubby beard, blue eyes that simply shine, grubby clothes and muddy boots, but give his kiss a 9. You say, "Hun, how was your day?" He smiles, said, "Not much luck. But coming home down by the creek, we hit one with the truck." He flops his tired butt down in that old recliner chair, gives a groan, leans back and says, "Hun, we got any beer?" He grunts a thanks, gives a knowing wink as you put the long neck in his hand. You smile to see him laying there. Girl, you got yourself a man. You've got that warm, fuzzy feeling, that feeling you can't dodge. Sometimes Cuba drinks cold beer and dresses in camouflage.